Yeah, that would be. That's like taking us back to the
You could
engineer
just like
days,
tower
man.
dive at like level 2. Just smoke screen the tower and just YOLO. That would be so
Wasn't
good.
that a thing in Han?
Yeah, it was. That's why I said it. Because that game was completely imbalanced. It just makes me smile to think about.
It's weird walking around in front of online and seeing people play Heroes of Newerth. I forgot people still played that game. Venomancer, throwing some bananas around.
I like Veno. The heroes they currently have, and even after having banned Lycan, because Veno is absolutely terrible against Lycan, you can just Gale any of them and kite it out and run away. I mean, it is getting kind of hard now, right? I mean, this is the point where you're starting to think, okay, what hero do we actually want?
Who would have guessed the Bloodseeker and Dazzle would be the 2 4th picks in Game 3?
Dude, I'm telling you, the patch is just good. That's what happens when there's so many good heroes.
You're right, this is a... Well, I don't know, would it have been more interesting to see this like 3 patches ago, when at this point you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel for good heroes?
Yeah, a couple patches ago, more miserable.
One game and you'd be like tier 3 heroes. Like, a couple patches
One
ago.
game.
No, I'm not even kidding. There was like less than 20 good heroes a couple of patches ago.
Dresco, what do you think about Pugna? Are you a fan of Pugna or are you a hater? I can't remember.
I like Pugna. It's just
on this patch, I mean.
I think doing 5-man deathball is good. Maybe better than it has been in a couple of patches, actually. But I also think fighting is good. So it's kind of a combination of the two. If Alliance wanted to go Pugna, they certainly can fit it into their lineup. It's not a question of that. And I also feel like it's pretty okay for the ward against like Dazzle, Veno, and the Witch Doctor. Not so great against Drow, though.
I think a Centaur or Wraith King are my choices for Alliance.
I'm actually aboard the Centaur hype train at this point. They've got 3 kind of squishy ranged heroes. If you could get a fast blink.
Don't random!
It'd be hard to deal
Don't
with.
random!
Radiant team pick.
And
I can't tell if that was a random or not.
I don't know.
It is a pushing hero though, so I feel like this is actually intentional.
Yeah, it makes sense.
The other thing too, Bloodseeker Death Prophet ulti is sick. You actually destroy towers. It is so good. So they do want to just
Blood Rage Death Prophet ulti. That's
Holy
what I'm talking
shit.
about.
I've never seen that actually in a competitive game. That's really smart.
That's because you don't see Death Prophet ever anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's cool. That's some pretty sweet
synergy.
10 seconds.
Alright, what does Monkey Freedom Fighters go here? Okay, there you go.
Tide Hunter.
Nice.
So mid Veno, off lane Tide, and then Drow in the safe lane.
I actually feel like that's a pretty mediocre solution to the problem that they're going to have right now. Like, that Tide absolutely needs Blink. This is not the kind of lineup where you can walk in and just use Ravage casually, you know? Like, you're going to walk into Tombstone, you're going to walk into Exorcism, potentially minus armor from Venge, you're going to explode. Like, this is a really hard lineup, actually, for Tide, I feel.
I would definitely agree with that. And Tide, I mean, part of the reason he's fallen off is similar to the Brewmaster, you got to make every single ultimate count. If you miss a Ravage, ravaging for 1 heroes, if you can't get objectives off of it, the hero feels underwhelming, you can play around it, but if he falls behind, he becomes such a liability.
Yeah, it's really tough. I think the Death Ball of Alliance is going to be very difficult to stop. Thankfully, MFF do have Drow, and they have 4 ranged heroes, so their laning phase, all things considered, should be pretty good. If they can get like 15-20 minutes into the game, get Tidehunter or Blink Dagger and stuff, I think they should be okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an exciting game.
Yeah, this is a fun
Death
draft.
Prophet, man, that takes me back.
What are you thinking here, Owen? Which draft do you favor?
I mean, in the second game I did favour Alliance's draft, and it kind of didn't work out. But I really feel that Alliance have got the edge here again. I think just looking at the heroes that they picked up, it wouldn't necessarily scream to you that this was kind of game 3 lineup, especially with the Bloodseeker. I guess the Death Prophet's kind of the hero that I'm going to be very interested to see how well it works. And I think, as Andy said, if they get a good start and they're able to get the Death Ball going, it's going to be quite hard for MFF to stop it.
Alright, I'm gonna go, even though I actually don't know. I'm gonna go MFF, guys, because they got the team fight. If Alliance wants the Death Ball, team fight will reign supreme.
Are you playing Alliance has lackluster team fight?
No, their team fight's way worse though. Way worse than MFF.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Dull Assumption, Tombstone, Venge Aura, 2 silences. Death Prophet with her Ghost.
Well, as far as like AoE damage, MFF has a lot. They have a lot easier job executing their strat. I think.
And
okay, that I'll agree with.
AoE stuns.
I mean, it's not to say Alliance's lineup is garbage.
No,
I think it's gonna be a really good match either way.
That's true. Maybe I'm underestimating MFF's team fight. They've got a lot of sustain with the Witch.
Bro,
Doctor,
haven't you ever seen a Ravage
lot
before? It's pretty good. No.
Ravage is a good spell. However, it doesn't have
now.
quite the long cooldown. Although Death Prophet's ult has a really long cooldown now as well. Is hers? Is Ravage still longer than Exorcism? Cooldown wise?
It's 150 versus like
maybe
130 or so.
I think DP's is slightly shorter.
Okay, but they're pretty even. All right, I'm still living in the mentally in the past when DP's ult was completely broken and.
Well, if she goes Octarine, then you don't have to worry about that, I guess.
Okay, here's my prediction. If DP has a good game, like a good start, she's gonna crush, like just destroy. That's my guess.
Okay. I could be into that.
Dude, I'm telling you, Blood Rage, Death Prophet, it is so good.
What scares me for MFF is the amount of silence. We saw yesterday in that first series like how good silence is against Dazzle in general. Also good against Witch Doctor. They've got a lot of tools to interrupt his ultimate. This will be a tough game for Death Wards. But, I don't know, this is going to be a tough game for the Dazzle as well, getting off those clutch shallow graves.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It's totally up to the lanes, though. If MFF can do well, maybe Alliance Deathball isn't so scary if the Tide gets like 6 early and such.
Alright, so we're in the game, folks, here. Again, my lobby was lagging. We're going to hand it over to the casters. Mott and Synderen, take it away, boys.
Thanks, Andrew. We're into the Game 3 of MFS versus Alliance here, the third and final match here. And, of course, winner will move on. Loser is Dunzo in this tournament, and it's already pretty interesting. We have a couple of nifty picks here, the Death Prophet coming out, as well as the Venomancer. Our analysts seem to be split down the middle for who's going to take this game. Of course, my name is Mott. With me is Synderen. Sid, what do you think about the draft first and foremost? Who do you favor as we go into this game?
I think it's really hard to say. I think Draskell is completely right that if S4 gets a good game, I think their draft is stronger. But it's not necessarily easy for him to get a good game if they put pressure on mid. Like the supports on the Radiant, double range with Drow Aura and pretty good harassment could actually put a lot of pressure and just annoy him very much early on. Whereas the Alliance supports, the Visage can't be of that much use. Venge is okay, but not that great. If that doesn't happen, however, like if S4 has a hard game, I think MFF should take it easily, but if the laning stage just plays out evenly and S4 is okay, I think we're going to hit a point where Alliance will just be so good at pushing towers. Like, they drop Tombstone, they use Exorcism, and if MFF try to fight into it, they're just going to be overrun. So they need to be really careful. But it's a surprisingly even draft, I guess you could say, for a Game 3, where you would say often teams will just trick each other by not being used to the hero pool so much, but I think it's honestly pretty close.
Let's see how the lanes settle in. I think everyone's right. I think the analysts are right with how this is going to get laned up. I wouldn't be surprised to see it just being how they called it. For now, the one thing I'm worried about is the Tide Hunter. I think they mentioned him getting a blink and making sure he gets that as early as possible. I think that's definitely true. I feel like Tide could have a very bad game this game if he doesn't get an early blink dagger. He doesn't get off some seriously good ravages as well.
It's difficult to imagine MFF getting a really good engage if they don't get a good ravage. Like, the only real engage they have apart from that is Cask. Gale is okay, but you know, what are the odds you get a really good Gale on multiple heroes and you can run in? I'm definitely 100% in agreement with that. If Tide doesn't get a blink before minute 20, I actually think they lose from that alone. Like, he has to be able to find a reasonably timed blink dagger. Maybe the timing isn't even 20 minutes, maybe it's 15. And interestingly, it's a Rise playing the Tide Hunter in the offlane, so...
Mid laner from first game and second game. There's a fight breaking out bottom, the DK. There's also a casket to go through. Good Gale on Bulldog. Bulldog might be in trouble. Has his salve. They might get the first blood on Yapstor. They will turn it around. They will take down the Undying. And a trade great body block from S4 onto Beaver Knight. Looking to try to take him down. There's the Crypt Storm. Last right click will do the job. They want to trade for S4 as well. It's a bloodbath. 2 for 2. Might even be a 3 for 2. Ake takes a heal to the face. Mad gets the kill. Now they're chasing after Minus in Paris. All the meanwhile is taking no damage. It's just right clicking from the backside. He will not be able to chase down Minus as he has the boots of speed, but now the wrap coming in from Yapsor. He's going to walk right back in. No use. The creep camp, he blocked it. They blocked the creep camp. He was going to try to...
Absolute mess.
Yes.
But that's what these heroes will do in a level 1 fight like that. I think both teams played it well. and MFF with a slightly better exchange, I guess, all in all, but... Yeah, well, 4 for 3 like that, with the Venge being the last hero to die, is really not that big of a deal. It's more about how the lanes are shaping up, and I think Arise is going to have a really difficult top lane.
This alone, he's
actually playing without Stout Shield.
Yeah.
He's going to get Kraken very early, so Stout is pretty weak. That's actually not the surprise. The surprise is he's playing without Boots, pardon me. Stout Shield and Tide is generally pretty weak. But you could have started with Boots here in this lane, maybe. And then maybe you don't have enough regen. Oh, it's tricky overall, actually.
Another kill happening bottom lane is, surprisingly enough, I think this is very interesting. I thought the Venomancer was going to go mid, but he goes bottom. He levels up Gale first for that early game fight, gets Poison Sting as well. Might start going wards now, but they do get the kill on the Undying. He's already TP'd back in the lane, so not a huge deal, but he does end up going down. Sakshika is going toe-to-toe against S4, and S4 is already having a decent time with 10 last hits despite going down early. Sakshika, of course, getting 2 kills and 2 assists, so while he might not be getting the most out of CS, he's still got a great time because of the kills he got earlier on. So we'll have to wait and see if they do rotate, if they do go for kills. Oh, Arise top lane. There's the Blood Right. He did get his Kraken shield off, but that doesn't matter because the Soul Assumption comes out, and this lane seems impossible, so it seems very difficult anyway.
Yeah, the problem is that Paris is half health in mid, and then Loda just turns into a monster, and it's something Arise has absolutely no power over. Playing a melee hero in lane against Bloodseeker is an absolute nightmare, honestly.
He's out. S4 taking damage. Cryptorm's going to go YapzOr in trouble. Midas trying to harass him down, but won't get enough damage there. There is a salve up for Paris, but again, like you talked about, they're low
Loda hits hard right now.
Yeah, he's...
I think... Oh, it's only level 1 Thirst, but...
Like we're coming out, Bulldog getting chased down. That's a lot of damage coming out from Mad, but he does drop the Tombstone down. It is level 1. YapzOr throws up the cast. Can they actually get this kill? He needs to get close for a heal. There's the double decay. Bulldog trying to turn it to YapzOr. They need to take this Tombstone down. They will do so. And another kill on the Undying. Alright, so
he
bottom
is
lane's
not having a good start here.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it's a really difficult lane for him too. The question is if Alliance should try to adapt and move the Visage down bottom and just try to play Lotus solo against Tide. I think it's a good enough lane. Most melees lose one-on-one to Tidehunter, but Bloodseeker actually has enough damage, especially if they're pressuring other lanes. This Undying is going to be useless if they keep playing like this.
Dead. Good rotation from Rhinuts. Take some tower shots.
Yeah, this is what they need. Maybe they just sack bot, like Bulldog. They let Bulldog go 0-5 in the lane, but as long as the supports are there from Monkey Freedom Fighters, it opens up the other lanes to be won by Alliance.
Yeah. And with that great start that the Dry Ranger Paris was having, that does kind of hurt him. He goes for the triple Wraith Band build, by the way, so he's going to be hitting pretty hard pretty soon. In fact, he's already hitting pretty hard. Level 2 Precision Ore, obviously. They're rotating a couple heroes in mid for MFF. Minuts is still nearby. He has Boots of Speed, so sports. And in fact, the Tidehunter is very slow. It looks like Arise wanted to maybe stack the Ancients. Fortunately, wasn't able to get there in time, first and foremost. And secondly, Minuts was there to stop any sort of aggression whatsoever. So, Bulldog does pick up an Invis Rune. He'll walk right next to YapzOr. There's a lot of heroes kind of rotating and convening around mid, so we need to be careful. Mad's going to run into 2 of them. He'll get Magic Missile. He has Grave, interestingly enough, and he has the mana to use it. Paris will shoot him from the low ground, kind of relying on hopefully that the misses don't go. Mad will die in the end. S4 was going to try to get up there, but there's just a lot of heroes mid. Yeah, he's dead. That Tombstone's going to do work. Look at the Death Prophet ulti. Paris is going to go down to the Tombstone, and already S4 is running amok here for Alliance. Minus was looking for maybe a Magic Missile to tank the Creep Wave instead. More TP's mid. What's happening? Everyone's just running mid.
Minuts dies from the tower.
Yes! Oh my god, he's dead. S4 needs to be careful as well.
What's going on? So Mad graves himself, and he has a TP the whole time, I do believe, and the stun has been used, but he just runs circles and dies. Then they dive the tower with Venge, and she dies almost solely to the tower. Before that, Bulldog just runs in and dies almost solely to the tower. I don't know. This is really clowny, to be honest.
Blind shoes have been put on, they've been tied up, and they're ready to go. At the very least, the clowniness is not happening top lane. Loda's already got Rapture. Rise is like, guy, you've got to be kidding me. God damn it. He's going to get dove. Bloodright's going to go first and foremost. There's a TP coming in. There's the Soul Assumption as well. Ake's low. YapzOr does get the long-range cast off. Can he get the Maledict? He does barely, and that is going to be Ake's life more than likely. Loda's just going to sit back.
Oh, he has a Tango running. He's actually going to live.
Ooh.
Unless if YapzOr gets one more hit. That's enough.
Is it going to be worth it, though? Probably not. Oh, the clarity is cancelled too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's okay. S4's running out.
Oh, there comes the stun.
And he's still getting chased down. There's going to be rotation from Mad. Not using the Grave just yet. The cast is going to go. YapzOr is going to back away. He's going to live. Are you kidding? He's gonna live. All the way around to the jungle. Loop-de-loop, he's fine. And all the meanwhile, look at Beaver Knight, look at Sing Sing down bottom, throwing up the plague wards, and this tower's getting chunked down a little, slowly but surely.
I think Bulldog doesn't mind losing that tower so much. He really just wants experience, and at the very least he's been able to get level 5 now after an absolute disaster of an early game. So, I mean, all things considered, he's probably okay. On the other side, though, Tide is only level 4, and he's been forced into the jungle. He may have died 2 less times, but he's maybe a more integral part of the team's lineup than the Undying is for the Dire. But it's a bigger problem, I would say, in the offlane situation right now for Monkey Freedom Fighters.
Inuts is getting chased down. No usage of that Band of Scale, and he just walks right into a
they vision first.
They see him. They know exactly where he is. Body blocked with the last right click from S4. Gets the kill, and he could have Crypt Storm for it anyway, so good try to deny himself. Not the case, though. Takshika will get some time to farm mid, but yeah, I think you're right. The Tidehunter is not going to get that much room to work with. He's level 4 still. He needs the Blink Taker, as we talked about, and suddenly, you already have Loda, who's just dominating in his top lane. He's 45 CS, he's got a Midas as well. And you compare that to Sing Sing's Venomancer, who is the safe lane farmer, and I would take Loda any day of the week on that Bloodseeker over the Venomancer in this situation.
Yeah, Loda is just going to skyrocket his farm with this early Midas. And that's one of the advantages here of Bloodseeker, is his ability to just go into the jungle with pretty much minimal farm and just be self-sustaining. So it opens up for Ake to start getting levels on Visage. And, you know, this hero, in most Visage strategies we don't see that many of them these days, but a lot of the times it's been picked in the past, you would have Visage lane support, and then you give him space, and they can do that this game.
Okay, Bulldog, he will drop down the Tombstone. Look how much damage Arise is taking. He's so squishy. He does take down the Tombstone. He is going to get graved up, and he will survive, but here comes Loda. He's looking to clean house. Mad's going to get dropped first. Gets a nice heal off, but will die in the end. So will Arise, and Beaver Knight and Sing Sing just trying to run away. Loda could have dove even further for that, I think, but he was a bit worried maybe about the rotation from Paris.
I think he lost his bonus move speed that he needed once he killed the Tide.
Yeah.
It's funny because we had a similar situation yesterday in a Bloodseeker game in this tournament where the Bloodseeker might have not wanted to kill a hero just for his ability to run down the others. In this situation, maybe you should have let Tide or the Dazzle live because they'd used everything they had and couldn't really provide much. And you could have maybe run down 1 or 2 extra kills. It's not like the guy who's on 1 health is going to escape, right? You could just run him down last. But still a good enough fight for Alliance in that situation, I guess, with what they had.
10-11, the kill score is still pretty even, but in terms of net worth, it's not that even. 3,000 net worth advantage for Alliance, and where do you go from here if you're MFF? Sin, do you try to ball up and maybe push down some towers? I mean, you have high-level Plague Wards, level 4, in fact. You have Paris, who's level 7 now. He's got level 4 Precision Aura. He's got his Shreds. He has a lot of damage to work with. And do you maybe think about Deathballing and just pushing down towers, or is that too difficult with Tombstone and with Death Prophet ulti?
I think if you Deathball, you're playing into Alliance's draft. I think you need to split push. Alliance isn't that good at finding pickoffs. If a Bloodseeker ganks you, you can TP out, so he has to gank together with Venge. Apart from that, they have 0 stuns until Visage. Well, they're Visage Birds, I guess, but they're showing in top right now. So I think you split push, you farm a bit, you get a couple of core items, and then you go. Like, starting to Deathball towers with a Midas Venom in at 9 is generally not a good idea. Like, he's a walking ultimate. He actually doesn't have his ultimate. So, I don't know. I don't think that would be the play right now. But at the same time, if they split push and just play a farming game, I think Alliance is just out farming them. Just look at the graphs. They're telling the tale here. 4,000 golden experience with a pretty even kill game. Alliance just getting way more out of the map.
Yep.
Alright,
they're going to jump on a Rise, and this is just, they can't afford this. This Tidehunter is just getting crushed. Maybe they're going to try to find Loda. This would be a huge kill if they could get it. There was no poison touch. They couldn't slow him down. They're still going to try to chase after him, but Loda's just too fast at this point. Paris can't catch him. That would have been a huge kill. He walked right under the nose of Mad, but they just couldn't get a grasp on him. And while that's all happening, Bulldog and Minuts will be pushing bottom. S4 doesn't have his ultimate for another 10 seconds. Not like he needs it. This is probably a free tower.
I mean, in the top lane, Beaver Knight is doing his best to try to push, but Ake can actually hold fairly well with these familiars. It's not like they hit that hard, but they still hit so fast that they can bring down Plague Wards over a couple of seconds, even with all their damage gone. So he's not really making that much progress, and at the same time, Alliance are just, once again, getting way more out of the map. They get the bottom tier 1 tower, they get the rune bottom, that's double damage for S4, he currently has Exorcism ready. They could be looking to push another tower while Ake's easily holding this top tower. Like, it's taken 19 damage so far. And I don't think Monkey Freedom Fighters are playing this the right way right now.
It almost feels like, and even if they do get, like, let's say, and this is very hypothetical, let's say YapzOr somehow does get an Aghanim Scepter, it's still not going to be that great because they have 2 silences on their team, as someone mentioned in the analyst test, is that you have the silence from the Death Prophet, you have the Blood Right, so even if we were to have a Glimmer Cape, that Death Ward generally is going to get silenced pretty quick. While this is happening, S4 is going to go ahead and pop a double damage rune, and they're going to head into Rosh. They have a Medallion even as well. This is going to fall very quickly. So he just pops the Blood Rage on a Roshan, and he'll tank the damage, but look how fast this falls, and this is an easy Rosh coming up for Alliance, and they're going to increase their lead even more so.
Yeah, they don't even use Exorcism on that. So they will end up paying their tower here, but they're looking to... Now I think it's just Alliance going to Deathball, right? They have to... Monkey Freedom Fighters have to push so much pressure top that Alliance needs a TP pack, because they're going to go down for this Tier 1 and the Tier 2 mid right now, I think.
This Death Prophet ulti is about to be skilled at level 2. He might want to wait, but the experience is not quite there yet. Still needs about 200 more experience. I think he might just want to go ahead and pop the ultimate anyways, just to make sure they can take the tower. Coming in from the backside is Arise. He does have his Ravage ready, but he only sees S4 and Minuts. I want more. Bulldog, now they spat out the rest of them. Okay, try to get the Ravage off, but there's a Sentry Blood right on the ground. Needs to Ravage now. He doesn't get it off. The Silence comes through. He couldn't walk out in time. They destroy that Tombstone, but it doesn't matter. Exorcism is up. They've already lost the Rice. He does have buyback. Give it TP. Yes. Will he buyback? Yes. He's going to TP in as well. They need to get this Ravage. Loda in trouble, but he does have that Aegis. They'll lose it. Arise bought back, but he can't find a Ravage. They backed up as soon as they see Arise buy back into the game. Loda gonna get chased down. YapzOr is here. There's gonna be a Blood Right. Silence on the ground. Deathward's gonna go. The Ravage! No, it doesn't connect. And meanwhile, Aki gets the kill on Dazzle in the middle lane. And now it's all going to shit for the side of MFF. They have to back away. Oh dear. Arise has had mouse issues for pretty much the entire series. He's tweeted about it. And so he will pause and try to figure something out. But apparently he also has lag issues too. So
that was actually a pretty good Ravage with 3 seconds of delay. He was only half a second off hitting. I mean, he's got a hard enough role in this game as it is. If he's lagging too, it's absolutely awful playing Tide in this. And to be fair, I think in that situation it looked like he was considering ravaging earlier, and then they didn't know if they really needed it for Loda's for the kill on Loda. And then when he realized it was too late, Loda just had 500, like I think he had 530 move speed and just ran away. So they wasted Ravage, they wasted Death Ward. This fight is now lost. Like, there is no way in hell they can turn this around. They just need to salvage whatever they can, and I don't think they're going to be able to save their Drow. Maybe they are, actually. Yeah, they are able to save their Drow. If Loda doesn't run down there, then he's okay. It's not that bad for MFF.
Yeah, they should actually be. He might actually live. Yeah, they're going to just turn on YapzOr. That's the play.
They're going to lose YapzOr. That's it.
Arise walks into some trouble and then backs away. That's an ultra kill, by the way, for an Aki on a Visage. So he's got 2.7k gold right now, and that's the beginning of an Aghanim Scepter more than likely. Or can finish off a Solar Crest if he wants to as well. Either or is fine.
Yeah, with how fast he can get an Ags, I think that's the choice here. Of course, a Crest would be great, but I honestly don't know if S4 needs it. I think the Birds would just be super strong in this game. They could just fly in behind and kill or force out Grave in a matter of 2 seconds. They can stop Death Ward. They can even force away the Drow, actually. So I think that would definitely be the item. Nope, he's going to go for the Talisman. So it is going to be the fast Crest. I'm assuming then they're just going to put that on S4 and try to push towers.
Yeah, and then, I mean, what do you do at that point? It's going to be pretty difficult to bring him down. There still is... Paris was farming so well, but it's just... Loda is farmed so much faster because of, number 1, the Midas, and number 2, he's gotten a couple of kills and assists. And I don't want to... This game is only 14 minutes into the game, but it already feels so damn hard for MFF. It almost feels impossible. S4 is going to wrap around from the backside. He has his level 2 exorcism, but it's on cooldown for 36 seconds. So they're just going to maybe look for a silence. He does have a Yule Scepter to set something up, but they kind of want to pressure this top tier 1 tower, methodically, systematically take down each tower little by little and go from there. But mid lane, they will find Sixing, who pushed up way too quickly. Threw down a couple of Plague Wards, but died for it. There's an Ake and Minus combo getting it done. Top lane, Vote is going to chase right after Paris. Deathward's going to go. Great cast! Not doing much damage. Bulldog is taking the brunt of it. He will survive a tower hit. Bottles up from S4. He stays alive. YapzOr trying to TP out. No way. He's making it out of there alive. So, Voda now has free reign to take this tower. S4's Exorcism is up if they want to go for the tier 2, and that is most likely going to be the case.
This is very quickly getting out of control for Monkey Freedom Fighters, because they don't have the tools they need to be able to stop this kind of push. This is going to be 2 towers. They're trying to trade bottom with a Dazzle split pushing. I don't think that's going to work.
They didn't matter.
There's the Blood Rage Death Prophet. Let's look at that tower melt. That's pretty good.
Yeah, the glyph comes out, but this tower will fall within moments here. And
it almost makes the level 2 Exorcism deal the same damage as a level 3 one.
Arise is gonna walk in. He's like, I want to ravage the Frost Arrow slow. Is he gonna get it? Yes, just barely on Loda. Can they finally bring him down? They do. A huge kill going for the Tide Hunter. That gives him so much gold. 728. He's up to 1600 now, and still no Blink Dagger. But this game could be salvageable. It's gonna be tough though.
It's very possible to get a blink with before the next team fight now, and that could give them a bit of a chance. I still think Alliance are very far ahead right now. They're actually almost 10k ahead on gold and XP, but a big Ravage and a good Poison Nova could turn this around. Let's keep in mind that Beaver is actually going to have an Axe pretty soon with his level 2 ultimate, and Alliance don't have the best sustain, really.
At some point, though, I imagine Loda will be getting a BKB.
Oh, they got a mech now. That's going to help.
Also, that works too. Both of
level 2 Soul Rip is okay for keeping one target alive, but again, if the AoE combo is good enough, then MFF should just be able to take them over time. Like, their AoE abilities are actually really good. Like, they have Ravage, Poison Nova, and Weave. So the longer a fight goes, when the enemy team has minus armor from Weave and take damage from Poison Nova, it starts getting really difficult to fight all of a sudden.
I imagine Undying will maybe stop being as useful later on down the road. He's not one of the best skilling heroes into the late game, but it's only 60 minutes in, and so it's a little bit early for us to say that. But 3.5 minutes till Roche will respawn. Bulldog's going to drop the Tombstone. He'll be just taken down with a Death Ward and a couple right clicks. Good mech, but he's still done so, and they'll be able to clean up the Tombstone as well on top of it. So, nicely done. Nice kill. Some extra gold.
Have another 150 gold.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically what the Tombstone did there. Just gave them an extra 150.
Alright. Then continues to farm mid and wants to try to take that. That tier 1 tower is very low. Not in deny range yet, but get some extra help and maybe they can take it down. Unfortunately, Alliance are centered around mid currently. No reason to try to take it yet. And Loda will get some farm top.
When is Roshan? Like, once again, I
2
don't think I timed
now.
it, and that clock is just useless. Like, I don't know.
I think they got it at 11 minutes, I'm pretty sure. So I think it's 2 minutes from now. The clock just came up for the timer and said like 3 minutes a minute ago. So that's S4 is right on Paris. The Yules is about to come out. I'm almost positive. There it is. And this is a dead Drought Ranger. Silence comes out as well, and 3 gold for Loda. There's the blink though. That's it. Arise has it. And his Ravage will be up in 3 seconds. It's still level 1, so the damage is not that great, but it does provide the control they need. There will be an Aghanim Scepter within about 1,200 gold for Beaver Knight. It could somehow hold off, get that level 2 ulti onto Arise, and get that Aghanim Scepter onto Venom. So there's a good chance they could do some damage. I don't know if they can outright win the fight, but they can do something.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's a race against the clock right now for Monkey Freedom Fighters, where, you know, I said earlier there's just split push, but since that didn't work, or they didn't get enough done, we're starting to reach a point when the longer they wait with a team fight, that's just going to get even harder as well. And Alliance will force it upon them. Loda is going to have a BKB within the next 5 minutes, or maybe even within the next 4, at the rate he's farming right now. Visage's Aghanims is only 1,800 away. Minos is going to start having multiple points into Vengeance Aura soon as well. Like, the AoE damage and just the general pushing power of Alliance is going to be a really big issue. And they might have their biggest chance of turning the game right now. If they wait for level 2 Ravage, I think the cost of waiting that time just makes the team fight twice as hard. Like, they have to try to smoke and go right now and use the Ravage, or Alliance will just win on farm.
The problem is that Alliance have such deep wards that if they're off the map for a second, they're going to know. I mean,
that's a very good point.
Great wards in the jungle and both spots here, and then obviously this high ground ward towards top is amazing. So if they smoke, if they're off the map, there's a good chance Alliance are going to know. And so they pretty much have everything going for them. Even Lotus taking an Ancient stack, he's getting even closer to his BKB. I imagine that's what he's building with that Ogre Club. And from that point, a lot of the damage is pretty much mitigated. You're going to have to rely on the Drow Ranger. And I guess if the BKB does wear off while the Poison Nova is still on him, but it's still difficult. Yapzor's trying to finish off his Aghanim Scepter as well. He's not that far off either. Top tower is almost in deny range, 1 point of damage away to that 160 mark. There's a smoke coming up from Alliance instead. They're going to find Beaver Knight. Yeah, he has a TP, but there's plenty of stuns available, and he's just done. So he popped up the Poison Nova. It'll do some damage to the Bloodseeker and the Minos. Now the Exorcists are going to get popped as they found Yapzor as well. He's going to get silenced, Crypt Swarm, and Dunzo. 2 quick and easy kills that'll lead into a tier 2 tower mid Sid.
Yeah, there's no way they're holding this. You just gotta wait, and this is the danger, right? If they don't try to make the aggressive play, Alliance will be the ones making it. And if Alliance get the engage, it's very difficult for them to find the kind of fight they want there. Maybe Monkey Freedom Fighters could have tried to bait them into going in and then getting a good Blink Ravage, but they just weren't in a position to do it right then. Alliance has way too much information with their aggressive wards, and maybe what you need to do now as Monkey Freedom Fighters is you need to go all in. Someone has to buy a gem, you need to try to control your side of the map, and then you can be the ones maybe making the aggressive play, else Alliance just takes teamfight after teamfight, more objectives, Roshan is back again, they could go for that right now probably. You're just running out of time, it's that simple.
Not much Monkey Freedom Fighters can do in this situation. You just mentioned one of the options they have. Looks like they're just running down mid though. At least 2 of their heroes. Another 2 are coming in for the backside. That's a Bloodstone done at 20 minutes after a Yule Scepter, by the way, running it for S4, so he's had a great start. They talked about it again on his desk, and that's kind of a problem coming through for Monkey Freedom Fighters. Gotta look to keep pushing. They do take down the tier 1 tower, that's, you know, well and good.
They forced to resummon on the birds too. Aki's gonna wait as long as possible just to waste their time, but...
Are they gonna go because Exorcism is down? I don't know if that's the best idea. They do throw down a very aggressive ward. I'm not sure if Alliance scouted it. They didn't hang it, I don't believe so.
The question is there a better choice? Like, even if it's not the best idea, well, then it is the best idea, but it's still not a good idea.
There's no
it might be the best idea they have available to them.
Exactly.
And so far, it's pretty good. They're getting this tier 2 tower very quickly with Drow. Yep, they're gonna get it.
They will glyph it.
Good aggressive weave.
He doesn't have Exorcism, that's the biggest thing, so they don't want to fight without it. They still have all of the ultimates available for MFF, and they just weaved as well. But they'll take down a tier 2 tower, and they'll gain some semblance of map control here. And then you get an aggressive ward coming through. Mantis Tala is now done for Paris as well, so he has some extra damage and mobility to work with.
This is very good for MFF if they can control Roche too. Like, right now they should have more wards available than Alliance. I think Alliance placed the last Observer that they had. Now they're even going to help them kill Roche with Wave of Terror here. -6 armor for a bit. MFF say thank you very much, and this is probably going to be the game-deciding fight that happens right now.
Yeah.
If one team loses it big time.
Tombstone's going to get dropped down. Eris is in the pit, stunned up by one of the Visage Familiars. Arise is looking for a Ravage. He does have his Blink. Gets decayed up. Silence now. Eris in trouble. Blood Rate's gonna go. He's gonna get ruptured. He's in trouble. Heal comes through. They need to grave him. They will. Loda's still running in. Gonna try to hightail it out of there. Exorcism is finishing off Roche while this is all happening. And Arise can't find a Blink. Ravage. Loda gets soul-ripped and is still alive. They will take down the, of course, Roshan. They'll take the Aegis as well for S4. They don't get any kills out of that for Monkey Freedom Fighters either. They couldn't find a Ravage target. Venomancer does get Loda. They do get the kill.
He died up there.
Yeah, he died all the way back towards the base behind the tier 2 tower. That's incredible.
That must have been like the last tick of Poison Sting or something, killing him all the way up there, together with the Poison Oa. I mean, it is a 15-second duration, to be fair, so you have a while. That's still... I mean, that was a really good defensive swap from the Venge on him as well, trying to keep him alive, but it still wasn't enough in the end. Alliance are obviously still happy with this. Like, considering how they engaged on that, Loda essentially not getting anything out of his BKB, completely whipping Blood Right on 4 out of 5 targets. The Rupture didn't even get them a kill either, and they still got the Roche. So, under those conditions, I think you're just going to be happy trading your carry away. Although it did cost them a lot of gold. Look at the graph for that one kill. It's pretty crazy.
That's
no, they lost a tower too. Okay.
You imagine if they exchanged evenly, maybe go for a 3 for 3 or something like that, excluding the Aegis.
The Radiant lineup is actually fairly scary right now. If you're looking at what Alliance has, if S4 dies with the Aegis, so his Exorcism stops, they're running out of options, right? Like the BKB on Loda, they have to accomplish something during it, or this blinking Venomancer with Aghanim's Poison Nova is just going to kill them all over time, together with a half-decent Ravage. So this, it's not looking that bad for Monkey Freedom Fighters, to be honest, as I thought it was. When you look at their itemization and what they're starting to get, Mad with the Vlads is also really good here against all the physical damage having the AoE armor. Maybe they do have the tools after all.
They're starting to play more aggressively. Arise just gushes Admiral Bulldog. He's trying to at least take control of mid lane and try to push up past the river. They haven't even gotten a single fight yet with a Ravage, a good Ravage anyway. And problem is, though, is that Alliance are still getting items. There's the Aghanim Scepter now done for the Visage. He has level 2 birds. So, it's going to be tough. That Aegis going the way of S4 makes it also pretty difficult. They might just try to wait out, split push, make sure that Exorcism is not used. But at some point, Alliance are going to look for maybe a tier 2 tower, top or bottom. Maybe try to push now. We'll see. Not really happening either. It's just, it seems farming, them getting ready to push in. Midas is going to take a little bit of damage from the Manta Illusion, but this is Verse chasing after Nad, but he'll be able to try to right-click them down. And they're going to split push mid while this is all happening. They go top, and then MFF pushes mid. They go bottom, they'll push mid probably also, or they'll push top in that situation. Loda's going to get caught with a gush. There's going to be the usage of that poison, but he probably will have to BKB. He's going to use the Blood Right, and Beaver Dice is going to keep you away. Gets silenced at the end, but he doesn't really care about that. Loda's going to take a lot of damage from this. He's got the Poison Sting on him also. He actually might be fine. They soul rip him, and if he can Blood Rage, he's fine.
He actually took so much damage from Blood Rage, but he was okay. I think the most important thing there is just lack of vision for both teams. Like, they're not sure how much they can commit. I thought Loda was going to pop BKB just out of fear of any rotation and out of the Ravage, but of course if he sees the Tide, he can react fast enough with his BKB probably and be safe there, but ends up being Sing Sing using ult and porting out, so Loda's going to be really happy with this and just farm away.
So we're kind of at a stalemate here. Neither team really ready to push yet, obviously because there's that Aegis still on S4. But it looks like S4 is getting into position to take down this tier 2 tower, which is very low, and maybe even saving the Exorcism for tier 3. Loda continues to farm up. He's got his BKB. He's already got 2,000 gold in the bank. His Midas is helping him farm pretty fantastically, not to mention the fact that he's gotten a lot of kills this game. So they'll split push. Paris will say, okay, you guys can take our top tier 2, but we're going to take your bottom tier 2. There is a glyph available, however, for Alliance, should they choose to defend here. S4 actually took his back. Now they're going to get Yapsor. Paris just gets out of there, though. Yapsor! Whoa, he made it away! They had no way of stopping him, though. The Yules was on cooldown. Yeah, they had nothing. They didn't have the damage for it, either. Loda came in a bit too late. Blank forward. They want Gush. They're going to find it on Ake, but here comes the Visage Bird stuns. Oh, that stone form. So annoying, and Ake's just going to get out scot-free. But maybe they can pick off a couple of these birds. Does he have resummon? He doesn't. I'm not going to find any of them. Okay, he gets one. Doesn't get the second, though. Getting mid. He's building, I think, 4 staff. And they're going to group at bottom as well. Loda and Alliance maybe looking to put pressure on this tier 2 tower. Bottom instead of top lane. Nobody coming down to defend it just yet. It is full health. There is a glyph available, so not too worrisome. What's the next side of world looking for here for Monkey Freedom Fighters? Maybe an Ag Scepter for the Witch Doctor, which is now done, by the way.
Well, they're actually in a really good position to teamfight. Alliance, without an Aegis right now, which does expire here in S4, might just have to cut it after this tier 2 tower and not be able to siege the base, or will they?
They're going to go right after Yapsor. Silence is going to come through. Blood Right will miss. If they can keep Yapsor alive, that'll be huge. They will take down the tower, but Alliance should hightail it out of there. And the Blood Rays just chews through that tower so quickly with the Exorcism.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's tough. But now that Exorcism is down, they can fight, I think. They should fight. What do you think?
Yeah, it might be enough, actually. Just start rotating now. They know Roshan isn't up, so like there's no risk of Alliance just dodging the fight and getting a good objective. I would say at this point in time, it does make a lot of sense for Monkey Freedom Fighters to try to go for some sort of a... maybe push the top tier 2, which is already low. That should be good enough. They might even be able to get both towers if they're very quick right now, but they do seem a little bit hesitant to make the play. And maybe they're just thinking, okay, you know what? We've stalled out the game pretty well. We could probably play for late game since we have Drow. At the same time, I don't know, like, calling this late game is actually really difficult. They have really strong supports between Dazzle and Witch Doctor in the late game, but I feel like Venomancer at some point is just going to lose his effectiveness when it comes to super late, and they have multiple BKBs on Alliance's side, and they could just, you know, tank up, basically, against the Radiant side.
Yeah. There's always the possibility of a Smoke of the Sea gank. Now that the vision is very limited, there's still that one high ground ward coming through on Alliance towards that tier 2 tower top lane, but that's about it. The Smoke is definitely a viable option here. Whereas it wasn't before because of the deep ward coverage for Monkey Freedom Fighters on their side. Shiva's Guard is also now done for S4 as well, so still farming. They're going to jump right in. BKB perfectly timed from Loda. The Ravage does not get off in time. He's even going to Rupture Arise, and they're going to try to turn on this, I think. Blood Right's going to go. Arise is very low in health, and it looks like he will fall. They don't get off the grave, and he just dies. Ravage wasted. It might be time for Alliance to head straight down mid.
They didn't even look interested in trying to grave. I think they could have easily made it, but they were worried that the follow-up was going to be even worse. Like, if they go and try to grave him, they lose a secondary target, and what would they grave him for? Like, what's the value of saving the Tidehunter after he doesn't have Ravage for the team fight anyway? It's a risk-reward thing. I think they make the completely right call there, just getting the hell out of that fight.
Don't go down mid. They want to take down these tier 2s instead. The Alliance are just trying to make sure they play their style of Dota, which is just make sure they get an advantage, take all the towers, methodically bring down, you know, Raxes and win team fights, essentially. Don't make mistakes, I think, is the biggest thing for them. And right now they're not making many. They made a couple earlier near that Roche pit, maybe a little bit earlier than that as well. But they're still very far ahead. They're going to take this tier 2 tower. It is backdoor regen for at least a half second, but it will be taken down nonetheless. They even find Yapsor as well. They're going to silence him up. Like, get a magic missile, but he gets forced down to the low ground. Beautifully done from Arise. So actually, Yapsor's going to live.
Yeah, a bit surprising they're not trying for a swap there. Maybe they didn't have vision. I guess they didn't have vision to try to swap the Witch Doctor up. Absolute worst case scenario, they trade their Venge for Witch Doctor, which, you know, the chance that they got a better fight out of it would have probably been worth it. But he might have not had vision.
I don't think so. Roche is going to respawn, by the way, in 30 seconds if you didn't see it. So very early Roche respawn time from what I can remember. It wasn't that long ago when they got that last Roche, I don't believe. But they're going to have, I think it's going to be alliances. There's just, look at where MFF is positioned on the map right now, and they're not really in a position to contest this, especially if they decide to Exorcism. But S4 not being there, it'll be Loda just doing the brunt of the damage. They do have, obviously, Wave of Terror. Somebody has been dying, that's right. It's Ake who's got a Solar Crest. So this will die pretty quickly.
Regeneration.
I think you go with Aegis, though. Is this Aegis cheese? I believe it is. Aegis is picked up by Loda. The cheese is given to Bulldog, right? They're ready to go
I don't think
now.
Bulldog is going to keep this, is he? He really doesn't have that much health to use it with. It's way better on the Death Prophet.
Yep.
Pretty sure he's going to hand it over. This could be enough for Alliance to try to high ground. Yeah, he's going to take it now. So for them, kill S4 with 27 armor and a cheese, they have to pretty much change them perfectly. And the problem that Monkey Freedom players have is that they don't have burst. Like, their damage is over time. The Poison Nova, the Drow, the Weed needs time to kick in. Even the Death Ward isn't enough burst, I think. Just look at S4 how confident he is.
Runs up to the high ground. Gale does connect. He'll slow him down a little bit. He'll actually heal himself. Tombstone's on the deck as well. Rupture's going to go. Blood Right Rise is going to try to get out of that silence. They take tier 3 town. Alliance continue to push into the base as the Rax is exposed, and the Viscous Birds, and then of course the Exorcism doing the brunt of the damage. Tombstone's just making it annoying for anybody to initiate. Get the cast up on that. S4, there's the silence as well. Blank Force Ravage coming in, hits on everybody with the exception of Loda, who did BKB it off. But great Death Ward! S4 has to use the cheese. Loda's low as well. There's going to be the Blood Right. Rise will take the brunt of the damage, does have the Brave on him as well. Loda chases him down, that's the Aegis. Terrace now going to work. Try to get him. Healed up. Do they have Brave in 5 seconds? Paris is trouble, gusts him away, but it's not going to help him out. Loda has respawn. They need to buy that from Paris. Maybe not. They're going to try to just take down Loda on their own. They do so much damage suddenly. The right clicks the Plague Wards. They heal from Matt as well. They somehow defend their base. Aegis and Cheese both used, and they barely did any damage to that melee barracks. That's huge coming from Monkey Freedom Fighters.
They just got the perfect AoE combo they needed right there. Or actually not the AoE combo, but the Death Ward was allowed to channel for, I think, a good 4 seconds right there. So that's exactly the kind of team fight that Monkey Freedom Fighters want. If Alliance don't get in on the Witch Doctor, which is, you know, it's kind of hard if they don't get in a good position to swap. Their other counters aren't that good. Like, Blood Right takes a long time to kick in. The Death Prophet sounds might be hard to reach. Already used Yules on herself. Undying has no counter. Bloodseeker has, the one I mentioned. The birds just weren't in a position to get in. They need to fly in really far and then just get taken out so quickly by Plague Wards and Drows. So, very nice hold.
I think the swap is going to be pretty useful when he gets to that level 3 range.
Yeah.
Nice. Actually being able to swap out the Witch Doctor, but then again, he is going Glimmer Cape, so it's really going to come down to silence, I believe, unless they still have that gem, I think. Yeah, S4 had the gem, so they still have it available.
And there's going to be so many Plague Wards now. Sing Sing has got himself the Octarine Core, so the cooldown on Plague Wards down from 5 to 3.75. And obviously the Poison Nova cooldown also lower. I don't think that's the most important thing, since the chance he gets off 2 Poison Novas on a 45-second cooldown is probably very low anyway.
Yeah.
It's just his ability to spam the wards and self-sustain, I guess. If he gets a good Poison Nova, it's going to kill him a hell of a lot. Just keep him going.
Yep. He'll be pretty tanky, similar to what we see with Lustrax. Not quite as much, but still pretty good. The Venomancer, though, starting to get pretty beefy and deal some decent damage. He has level 3 Poison Nova, rather. It's kind of funny how the overall game has changed. At the beginning of the game, we had, like, what, 10, 11 kills for each side the first 10 minutes of the game, and since then it's been here and there, but nothing too crazy. It's more been about farming up, pushing out waves, getting a couple of towers every so often, taking a big team fight occasionally when your Ravage is up, when your Exorcism is up, which all big abilities are backed up with the exception of the Summon Familiar, so maybe wait to see another Roche for Alliance. For MFF, again, they're still pretty strong at this point in time. It's just whether or not they want to engage onto Alliance. Maybe they smoke up. You get to see smoke this game, I believe. Maybe one from Alliance, that's it.
And Mad's got to be careful right now. I think he's actually already effectively dead here. S4 can just run in on him and start hitting. And the moment he tries to TP, he's going to Yules. He'll definitely save the Yules here and just go to work with Shivas and Silence. Easy to kill.
I'd say it's a bit too long. He did finish up his Sange. His Halberd's actually pretty close to completion as well. I imagine that's what he's going to be going for, is a Halberd. Maybe stop the Bloodseeker from doing too much damage after that MPK. We'll see. Not the biggest skill in the world, but it's something. They might start their push towards that top lane. Ooh, Blank Dagger coming out from the Vengeance Spirit. Now Alliance will smoke as well. They're going to head towards the end of the jungle. The Yaps are already realizing that this might not be the best idea. TP's back home. Finishes up the third cape in the process. Rise is getting the first contact, maybe. They're just going to put up a ward. They're actually not heading to the jungle yet.
Yeah, they're very far away from the Death Prophet right now. So I think this smoke is very risky for them. Like, sure, they're 5-on-4, but here they've killed the Dazzle, and if they don't have, arguably, it actually is their most farmed hero right now, the Death Prophet, with them. They're very, very far down in this fight in terms of strength. But they've at least intimidated them, so TP out, and the smoke broke.
Roche respawn 3.5 minutes from now, so then just keep your eye on that. Another big one. Aegis and Cheese yet again. I think at this point, Monkey Freedom Fighters should feel at least compelled to fight. Ooh, another Octarine Core. Oh, that's frightening. Dear God, that's frightening.
Cooldown this is very good on Death Prophet. The cooldown, it's just, he has a lot of valuable effects from this. I mean, the obvious one is the lifesteal and of course the lower cooldown on Exorcism, but he also has lower cooldown on Yules, lower cooldown on Shiva's Guard, lower cooldown on Phase Boost, lower cooldown on Silence, and on the Crypts. 3-second Crypts one cooldown is really nothing to scoff at. Like this, his farming rate and his ability to just deal damage during teamfights is just like gone through the roof right now.
Not only do they have to focus down low, they have to focus on S4 as well, but doing so with an Exorcism up is not the easiest thing. Looks like Mad is yet again going to get caught up. Mad just will go, he tried to grave himself, get Silence instead. A long duration Silence. He does stick up, very tanky. Ooh, big Poison Nova comes through. 30 follow-up. Minus will more than likely go down. All 4 are here.
Good heals.
Yeah, next one came.
Yeah, he's actually fine. It's exploded. Oh my god.
Yeah, he just doesn't care.
Like when he's Blood Raged and Poison Nova, he ticks for more than 100 damage per tick of that Poison Nova. For 15 seconds.
Imagine they get that off in a fight and he doesn't have BKB up ready to go. I mean, he's just probably dead in that situation. But he's not the biggest issue now. I think it's S4.
Do you think Sing should buy a Veil? Considering that there's only one BKB on the Alliance side, I think he's just going to deal so much damage. And it's not just him. Like, the Rav is going to be better. The Cask, it's not that good, I guess, for his team. But just for himself, it's a really big damage boost.
What are the other options that he's got that he can build?
I can get a Refresher.
I guess that works.
But I think the Poison Novas don't stack. It just refreshes the duration on the target. I'm pretty confident that's how it works. But if it does stack, it's absurd. Then I think you should definitely go for that. It's been so long since I've seen Venos play that I honestly can't remember how it works. It's a very unusual build anyway.
So you get that elimination mode, that's I'm sure. There's not really much else. I don't. He can't. BKB really doesn't do much for him in this whatsoever. So I don't think he builds that. I think you're right. I think Veil's the option here. I don't see what else you go for. Surprisingly enough, they don't have a mech at all on their team, which is something Venom's do usually build, but it's a little bit late for that, I think. Still go Guardian Grease, but I don't know if that's the option. Anyway, what do we got going on here, Sin? The Alliance is going to push down mid. They're going to take a Soros respawn, and that'll be the go point, I think, for at least Alliance, maybe not for MFF. They are kind of at least securing their own jungle, so they will be close to Roshan when it does respawn.
This is definitely going to be the most important fight in the next 5 to 10 minutes if the game doesn't end until then. If the fight doesn't break out and Alliance just get it, I think this time they're going to get racks. But the question is if they can get more than the racks. Like, they need to address the Witch Doctor problem. They do have a Vengeful Spirit with Blink and Force Staff, so they better address them with that, but something could still go wrong. They could be surprised. There's obviously Glimmer Cave they need to take into consideration. They have to have detection in the area. They actually right now don't have any detection on any of the heroes, so the Glimmer Caves on the Alliance are really high. Never mind, they have Gem on Visage.
Yeah.
But then Aki has to be in the middle of the fight, which is very unlikely. I think the Witch Doctor's in a very good position right now.
Witch Doctor ulti, it's always a game changer. Might be, yeah. Roshan's been taken down. And interestingly enough, there was a Plague Ward near a double damage rune that didn't deny the double damage rune and was there for about 5 seconds. It was fighting against the Vengeful Spirit, so I thought that was kind of funny. The push down bottom, looks to maybe take down the tier 3 there. But this new limited Octarine core, S4 feels very confident to go ahead and clear out these Plague Wards. Similar to the mine we saw last game, but not really doing as much, unfortunately.
Tide is just too poor right now for this stage in the game. This is when you would like your core Tide to have a refresher. He has the lowest net worth in the game on a position 3 Tide at 8k. And that would be the main counterplay that Monkey Freedom Fighters would fall back on this point. It's just a double Ravage, just winning the team fight. But I don't know if they can find the key kills during Ravage anymore. Sure, the last time it worked, but now there's 2 Octarine cores, there's an Aegis and Cheese again, and the Lions probably learned from that last fight and are going to position better. So it's very, very tricky. I would just, right now, you just send S4 in front with his ultimate running, he starts damaging the barracks. If you can get a swap on the Drow, you do it, you kill her. Then you just play around that. Drop your, obviously your... I forgot the name, Solar Crest on the Death Prop and go in.
I mean,
the longer they wait, the harder it's going to get Alliance. Like, there's more and more Plague Wards coming up here from Sing Sing. And he did call the Veil, did you mention that?
Yes, well, I was about to anyway. The Veil is, as you mentioned, it is now completed. So the damage is actually ridiculous. Arise is looking to walk out. He actually forced the Blink, but it just wasn't quite close enough. Now the Blink comes in, they get off the Veil S4, getting chewed down, loaded out into trouble, but actually going toe-to-toe with Paris. He gets graved up, Paris is low. He's the one in trouble. Exorcism is just chewing through the racks and some of these heroes. Loda gonna get cast up, no Death Ward yet. Still hasn't used it. Finally comes in from Zakka. There's the Blink Ravage, gets on it too. Swap out onto Bulldog, S4 getting low but healing up, using that Octarine core to his advantage. Orion graved up as well, backing away. Now Paris out in front, there's gonna be the Magic Missile. The Exorcism just destroying him. He's bought back, he's gonna die back. Now Loda trying to run it as well. Death Ward's gonna fly. There's the silence. It pretty much destroys the Apsor. Now Loda going toe-to-toe with Mad. And at this point in the game, this should be it. Loda still has Zaze. Even if he dies here, it's not the worst thing in the world. Mad will go down. That's GG, and Alliance will move on. Like you mentioned at the